We got some more bad news on ELIO, unfortunately, and it's that the ticket sales do not seem very good, and they have led to these early trackings of the movie. So I'm going to talk about it right here and show you guys just how sad this really is for Pixar. So yes, I was just checking Fandango a few days ago, and I was checking on ELIO. I was like, okay, is this movie actually gonna sell tickets? And well, a lot of the theaters that I've been checking don't really have any tickets sold. Now granted, this could just be the movie theaters, but really, I just don't feel any hype for this new Pixar movie. I don't think the marketing has really done a great job at selling the movie, which I think is the main issue with the trailers, is that they just don't sell the film that well because Pixar doesn't know how to advertise the film, and it's led to these ticket sales being pretty low. Now you guys could say, yes, it is because of the theaters, but no. I've checked Jurassic World Rebirth, that had so many tickets, and that's like a month before the film even releases. I checked How to Train Your Dragon, and that still had a lot more tickets than ELIO. ELIO is an original movie, I know, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people are buying tickets, and it's led to these early box office trackings, which the movie is tracking to earn about 35 to 45 million on its opening weekend. Now, do not look at that budget. The budget is not 300 million. That came from a site that's called World of Real, who is known for lying about budgets. So do not believe this movie's $300 million budget. If it was that much, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm guessing it'll be around 200 million, even though they did significant changes on the movie. Now, if we want to look at some data on the movie, let's look at the biggest original movie openings for Pixar movies. So right here, we have Inside Out, which had an opening of 90 million and went on to make 858 million. The Incredibles had a $70 million opening and went on to make 631 million. Finding Nemo had a $70 million opening and went on to make 900 million. And why I'm showing this is just, it's so sad because a lot of the original movies we've had this decade either have flopped or they've done really well, but they haven't been like these huge breakout hits, except for Sinners. But we haven't had an original movie at all this decade that has crossed the $500 million range. Back in the last decade and a few decades ago, it felt like original movies were dominating the industry. Zootopia made $1 billion. Avatar made almost $3 billion. Inside Out made $800 million. And nowadays, we have original movies that barely crack $300 million or don't even crack $500 million. And here are the biggest opening weekends for original movies of the 2020s. Now, we are talking about movies that are not based off of a book, not based off of a sequel, not a prequel, not anything like that. Something that's just fully original, made for that film. So right here, we have Sinners, which is the biggest opening, had a $48 million opening, and that went on to make $341 million. Now granted, that had a budget of $90 million, so that movie is a massive success. Now with ELIO, it kind of falls into number 2 and number 5. If it lands at 45 million, it'll be at number 2, which could be, which could be decent. But if it falls into 35, it'll be just below, it'll just be above If, but won't catch Onward numbers. Then we have Nope, Onward, If, and Red 1. Now it's 45 million, that is actually a lot higher than Elemental's 29 million, and Elemental went on to gross over 495 million, which was good, but it barely made a profit and didn't make much other than that. It was still a success, but it was still kind of a sleeper hit. ELIO now having a 35 to 45 million, this movie has the chance to have great word of mouth, hopefully, but the amount of people I've heard say that this movie is just gonna flop and bomb and not do well, it's like, man, come on. I love Pixar, but it really feels like they've just been struggling this decade, and I saw this video where someone was saying that now it just feels like every studio is now focusing on sequels. Illumination hardly even does original movies. Pixar is moving to sequels with Coco 2, Toy Story 5, and Incredibles 3. Disney Animation is moving Frozen 3 and Frozen 4. We're really entering a new time where original movies are just going to become less and less. A lot of people are begging others to go see ELIO, please, because if people do not see this movie or Hoppers, then don't expect original movies from Pixar for a long time. I talked about this in my last video, but Pixar, they should just keep creating more and more original movies, because if you just keep making sequels upon sequels upon sequels, then you're just going to train the audience that they're just going to keep getting familiar things, and they're not going to want anything that's new. ELIO is a new original concept that Pixar is asking people to give a chance to, and the fact that most people are saying that this is just going to flop, man, it is so sad to see. Considering that Pixar used to dominate the box office, and now they don't really do that anymore unless it's a big sequel like Toy Story 5, which comes out next year, and you already know that's going to do phenomenal. So yeah, these predictions and overall ticket sales do make me a bit sad on the movie. I wish this movie could do better, and I hope this movie does better. But really, there's so many films coming out in summer that it might just get overshadowed by the end.